Hey guys, this is Chris Bliss. Today we're going to talk about depression and how to cope with it. One of the things that my therapist recommended for me was the Dialectical Behavior Therapy Skills Workbook, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So the very first part of this book talks about basic distress tolerance skills. So during some point in our lives, we all have some pain, whether that is physical or emotional. And this pain is, everyone has pain. It's unavoidable and it's unpredictable. We don't know how it's going to affect us in our situation. But for some people, this pain is much more intense and it affects them a lot more than just your regular average Joe. And this is the kind of pain that I feel. It's much more intense than just, feeling sad. There's a big difference between being depressed and feeling sad. And this is just called an overwhelming emotion. We don't know how to deal with it. We don't know what to do. And it could be anything. It could be just the simplest thing, and we could feel this overwhelming emotion and not know how to deal. And often people try to cope with this in an unhealthy way, such as resulting to alcohol or self-harming, or just worrying about things in the future, in the past, and really dwelling on some of those mistakes. Even things like isolation, I know that's a big one for me. Isolating yourself from other people is a unhealthy way to deal with these situations. Maybe taking it out on other people, yelling at a loved one or someone that you care about, taking it out on them rather than, dealing with the situation. Maybe like dangerous behaviors, like hitting or picking at scabs or poking yourself or burning yourself, things like that. High risk activities like reckless driving, avoiding friends and family is another one of those things that people try to do when they're coping with these overwhelming emotions. And just accepting the fact that things aren't going to get better, and that you're always going to be miserable. That's a really common thing to think when you're dealing with these overwhelming emotions. And when you're thinking about these overwhelming emotions, or when you have these overwhelming emotions, you're missing out on the good things that are happening in your life, even the small little things. If you're always worrying about things in the future, you're missing out on the things that are happening today, right in front of you. And those could be really good things. You spend more, if you're doing isolation and you're not putting yourself out there, you're spending more time alone, and sometimes that can make you feel even more depressed, being alone and that loneliness feeling. If you use alcohol or drugs to kind of numb yourself to the pain, that could possibly lead to an addiction, so that's an unhealthy behavior, which could lead to work problems, maybe even a legal problem if you get caught and you're doing some of these destructive behaviors. And that's basically it. That's the only thing I really want to talk about in this video. In the next video, I'll talk about how we can change our mindset and what to do when these overwhelming emotions come, instead of going back to these self-destructive behaviors. So I hope you guys liked the video. Today was just, if any of these kind of behaviors relate to you, leave a comment below if you're willing to share, and maybe we could talk about some different kind of coping strategies that we can use instead of these self-destructive behaviors. Thanks guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.